So good evening to everyone. Welcome to Sprouts of Science YouTube channel. Myself, R. Sai Kumar, MBBS student in GMC Nagar Kannur. So now in this video, as NEET 2026 has been completed at 5 o'clock. So in this video, we're going to discuss how the NEET 2026 paper was. So which section was felt very difficult and how the cutoff going to affect everything we're going to discuss in this video. Watch up to the end and make sure you subscribe the channel so that you will get every notification regarding the NEET 2026. What are the changes was happening, what the cutoff and how to get a good medical college and how to continue in that medical college. Everything will be guided in this YouTube channel. So without let me start the video. So the video is about your NEET 2026 paper analysis. We can see the paper how was came, in which section was felt very difficult. So for to talk clearly about NEET 2026 paper, overall the paper was very moderate. It is moderate paper only, but in some sections it was felt tough, and in some sections it was felt easier, but overall the total paper was very moderate. Comparing to NEET 2025, the paper was very moderate, so it will affect definitely the cutoff. Why? Because if the paper was moderate, everyone will score good marks, the cutoff also increases, so we should be have in a safe zone. So later I will say you according to the categories how the cutoff going to be affected on the NEET 2026. We can make a detailed video on that also. So let me go. The NEET 2026 paper was overally moderate, but the physics made it feel tough due to lengthy numerical questions was given, but the biology which is there, it is scoring only. Why? Because direct NCERT questions were keen, and your chemistry was mostly NCERT based only, but some sections were felt very tough. What the sections also we can want to discuss now. First of all, let me discuss the physics section, so which is the first section of your paper. So you know every year how the physics paper was. It's around we have 45 questions to you, and it was given 45 minutes for you. So within these 45 minutes you need to solve the 45 questions, which was very impossible to say. So but how the paper was about the physics section means it was tougher section only. If you talk difficulty of the paper of physics, it was tough only. So in this tough section, which sections felt very tough means your current electricity from your second year into second year physics, your current electricity was felt very tough. So why? Because it felt tough means you have lumpy numericals per came, which means long numericals per came, and to solve that questions it felt like it is a step multi-step calculations. If you calculate one thing, you need to use another method, like multi-step calculation method was given in from the current electricity, and there is a more numericals per came. Due to more numericals and long step calculation, the current electricity will take the longer time. This is one section felt hard. And second thing, your modern physics. So as per a NEET aspirant, the saving part, that is your modern physics. Why? Because from the modern physics the direct questions usually come. From the modern physics usual direct questions will become, but this time there is no direct questions for came. Why? Because what actually happened means usually modern physics from every time will get memory based questions. Memory based questions and direct formula questions will come. Direct formula based questions and memory based questions usually come from modern physics. But this time there is a concept and formula mix. Both were given. This time concept is asked, and along with the concept your formula mix also asked. These made the students to get confused little bit and take more time. There is no direct memory based questions from modern physics. Slightly they have took concept and formula mix. These made the section somewhat difficult, even though the students tried to solve. And your third section was, your third one is your electrostatics. This is also felt very difficult for the most of the students. So your electrostatics also. So electrostatics was somewhat calculation based questions were given, mostly calculation based questions were given, and these calculation based questions also like takes more time comparing to direct questions. Why? Because as they were mentioned that these 45 questions should be solved in 45 minutes, so the question should be solved in 1 minute itself. Else each question should be solved in 1 minute, but the time was not matched here. It was not balanced, even though the students tried to keep on it. So the electrostatics also like mostly calculation based questions were given, and the most difficult part of your paper is your rotational dynamics, your rotational motion. So these rotational motion, your rotational dynamics was felt very difficult to the student. Why? Because it has heavy concepts. They have asked you very heavy concepts. So heavy concepts were given and tricky application was given. Tricky application. Here these what made the paper felt difficult. There is a heavy concept and there is a tricky application. So due to this, the students felt very difficult in that section. So rotational motion. Why? Because the rotational motion was actually a very dry topic. Most of the NEET aspirants will remove this section. Why? Because it is lengthy taking section, and then it is to ruminate all these topics also very difficult. So from NEET 2026 paper, if you see rotational motion, it was like somewhat JEE main questions were given. So it felt you heavy concepts were there and tricky questions were there. So these also took the students time consuming. This is overall about your tougher section of your physics. And what felt you easy and direct questions, from where the easy and direct questions were came, your easy and your direct questions were came from your units and dimension. Your units and dimension direct questions were came, that is your units and dimension direct questions were came, and from your semiconductors also. From your semiconductors also very direct questions like your gates. So from your semiconductors also very direct questions were came, and your ray optics also somewhat direct questions like formula based questions, basic formula based questions were came. These three sections are very easy for the students who have been prepared. You may solve these questions. These are like low scoring. These are low scoring topics only, even though they have given very easy section from the units and dimension, your semiconductors and your ray optics. Your ray optics are direct formula based. So these are direct formula. and that formula easy formula. You may have studied intermediate, you may have studied 10th standard questions, like 10th standard formula based questions only. The ray optics has given. So this is overall about your physics. But to say the physics was felt somewhat tougher only, it is tough only. So it is time consuming. The reason for its tough means the lengthy questions and toughness of the paper. These made the physics somewhat tougher section. And coming to your chemistry section, how the chemistry paper was. So let me go about chemistry section. It's somewhat easier only, your chemistry. So your chemistry, overall how the chemistry means, it is moderate. The chemistry was moderate only. So the easy section, that is your organic chemistry and your inorganic chemistry. Your organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry, direct NCERT based questions. So those who have studied NCERT, those who have solved each and every question from NCERT, they can be able to solve your organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry. Your organic chemistry and your inorganic chemistry felt very easy. Why? Because direct questions were came. Direct questions came from your organic and inorganic. So like named questions, and direct NCERT lines were came. Which of the following is true? Which of the following is incorrect? All that. And your inorganic totally about your NCERT memory questions only. This is your This is about your memory, and this is about somewhat to remember your NCERT lines and somewhat named reactions. All the named reaction only they have asked your direct NCERT lines, and inorganic like fact based questions, and somewhat the questions like we have exceptional questions. Inorganic is totally about exceptional questions that have been given, and your NCERT memory questions all about your organic and inorganic. The tougher section of your chemistry was your the tougher section from your chemistry going to be your only your physical chemistry, which is there. It was somewhat dry topic. They are given somewhat tough in section, like they are given numerical based. Why? Because the numerical based questions somewhat difficult try to solve, and some time taking calculation were given. Time taking calculation in from your physical chemistry, like application of your some questions like in your physical chemistry, mostly your formula based questions will become. Then that formula based questions also mostly taking are more consuming time to solve. So these physical chemistry made you somewhat time consuming, and your organic and your inorganic is direct questions were given. So overall your chemistry paper was like moderate itself, else not much difficult, not much easier. And somewhat tougher sections if you compare from your chemistry, your thermodynamics about equilibrium, the multi-step calculations were came, and it like also need a formula clarity. So in most of the NEET aspirants go with single formulas in your mind. So you need to derive the formulas from other formulas. So that type of questions were came from your thermodynamics from your physical chemistry. Thermodynamics was felt somewhat difficult, and your equilibrium also felt somewhat difficult. Why? Because their multi-step calculations was given. And your easiest section to score much marks, that is your coordination compounds. It's very easy topic. So your coordination compounds, nearly 3 to 4 questions every year it will become. Every year 3 to 4 questions, and it was like your direct fat based questions were came. Direct fat based questions and one line answers. They are like one line answers. You need to you packet the similar questions. You need to find the oxidizing agent. You need to find oxidation number. That only came from your coordination compounds. So to say overall the paper was like moderate. So the easiest sections for your organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and your coordination compound. The tougher section was your physical chemistry, which was taken more time, in that your thermodynamics and equilibrium has multi-step calculation. This made it to felt somewhat difficult in section. Okay. And now if you go to your biology section, which is a real analysis, we need to know why. Because most of the NEET aspirants will have hopes on their biology itself. Else biology is a scoring part. Why? Because biology is a scoring part, right? Your biology, how the biology was like easy to moderate. It was not much more difficult, not much easy. It is easy to moderate. So it is a scoring area, which is a scoring area in your NEET 2026 paper. Means your biology was your very easy scoring area. So from where the easy questions were came, from where slightly tricky questions were came, that we're going to discuss slightly. So easy questions came from, if you talk your easy questions, the easy questions were came from your genetics one, your genetics. So usually we accept tough questions from genetics, but this time easy questions were came from genetics. And from your ecology also direct questions were came. And third one from your human physiology. From your human physiology also direct functional based questions were given. From your genetics also, like Punnett logic, you have Punnett square, right? You have inheritance, like that questions were came from your genetics. This made the paper somewhat easier. And if you talk from weight section, the tricky questions were came. The tricky questions usually came from your plant physiology. Your plant physiology made somewhat difficult to do. And your biotechnology also, this biotechnology and plant physiology, they are not much difficult. The reason that is, they are like assertion type questions and concept based questions. Here from these both, here assertion type question and concept based questions were asked. Majorly assertion type and concept based. These will make you confused in the exam. So from your plant physiology and biotechnology, these mostly assertion and concept based questions. From your genetics and ecology and your human physiology, from human physiology direct functions were asked. From your genetics, obviously only asking part is your Punnett square and your inheritance. Your ecology also direct questions were asked about the examples. So overall the biology paper was like your biology was like your easy to moderate, and your chemistry was like moderate, and your physics was like tougher section was given. So overall your NEET 2025 paper was moderate, not much tough, not much easy. So weight the chances to get high score, weight the chances for getting low score if you talk. So high score chances, if you talk high score chances, that's your biology. The chances for high score, it's advantaged part to you. So it is and average students may struggle in the physics. Mostly average students who are there, they have struggled in the physics. But if you wanted to say in one line, if you manage the physics well, your rank will be shoot up. Otherwise biology accuracy will be decide your final score. If you done biology correct also, you are in 6th zone. If you done physics correctly, you are in top zone. Your chemistry like gonna to save you from both sides, not to gonna to fall out of and not to go to rise upward. So one thing I need to say you, that is your higher section to score your biology plus your chemistry. I say chemistry also somewhat direct questions from your NCERT was came, that also high scoring areas. And the difficult test part is physics, obviously, you know. So if you wanted to know about cutoff, please comment in the section cutoff video, I will do on it also. So that also very important. Why? Because at the end we need cutoff. That cutoff we're going to discuss regarding to it. Why? Because the paper was like moderate, right? The cutoff going to definitely increase. Why? Because these times 720 plus marks we're going to get. I think mostly a 3 to 4 student definitely get 720 plus marks. In last time your NEET 2025, no students got 720 out of 720. Hence the cutoff has been decreased, and for the students who even score 400 marks also got the seat. But this year scoring 400 marks doesn't get you seat in your MBBS. So according to your categories, for open category how was your score, for your BC categories how was your score, for SC category how was your score, for ST category how was your score. If you need the detailed video, I will make on it also. Just comment me NEET 2026 cutoff. I will do a video on it. Up to that, just subscribe the channel, keep the bell on, keep the bell icon on, so that you will get all the NEET 2026 video notifications from Sprouts of Science YouTube channel. Me and my team was totally preparing on it, and in next video, and soon as possible as we can release the key for you also, and some tricky questions also we're gonna to discuss, and that's today. So we'll meet on the next video. Thank you up to that.